Shieldmaidens unearthed, rediscovering Norse warrior women. Under the cloak of a starless night, amidst the restless waves of the northern sea, a solitary figure stood upon the deck of a longship. Her eyes, as sharp as the steel she wielded, gazed unflinchingly towards the shadowy shores of the Isle of the Dead. This was Hervor, daughter of Angantyr, a shield maiden whose name was whispered with both reverence and fear. Hervor's tale is one of vengeance and valor, a saga written in the blood of her enemies. Born of a line of warriors, she defied the fates that bound her to a life of quiet domesticity. Donning the armor of a fallen warrior, she embarked on a quest to claim her rightful inheritance, the cursed sword Tyrfing, buried with her father in his grave. As her ship approached the haunted isle, Hervor's heart did not waver. She strode ashore, her voice echoing through the eerie silence, challenging the spirits of her ancestors to relinquish the sword. From the depths of the earth, amidst the howling of spectral winds, the ghost of Angantyr emerged, warning of the curse that Tyrfing carried. But Hervor, with the courage of a true warrior, remained undeterred. She seized the sword, its blade glowing with an otherworldly light, and thus claimed her destiny. Her journey from that fateful night led her through many battles, her name becoming a legend that transcended the ages, inspiring countless tales of bravery and defiance. This is but one story of a shield maiden, a testament to the strength and spirit of the women warriors of Norse lore. Let us now delve deeper into this world to uncover more of these remarkable tales and the truths they hold. As the saga of Hervor fades into the echoes of the past, we find ourselves at the dawn of our journey, a journey that seeks to explore the rich tapestry of Norse history where legend and reality intertwine. Join us as we venture into the realm of the Vikings to rediscover the enigmatic shield maidens. Their stories, etched in the annals of time, reveal a world where myth meets history, and where the legacy of these warrior women continues to resonate through the ages. Imagine stepping back in time to the world of the Vikings, a place filled with brave explorers and fierce warriors. But there's more to this world than just battles and voyages. Women in Viking society played important and varied roles, much more than just taking care of homes. In the bustling villages and along the rugged coasts of the Viking lands, women were key players. They weren't just looking after the family, they were also involved in farming, trading, and sometimes even fighting alongside men. The Vikings valued courage and strength, and women showed these qualities in many ways. While the stories often tell us about men setting sail for distant lands, women were managing farms, making important family decisions, and sometimes, according to old tales, even putting on armor and picking up swords. It's important, though, to get a clear picture of this world. While the idea of lots of women warriors sounds exciting, they were probably not as common as the men warriors. But this doesn't make the women any less important. Their bravery wasn't just about fighting, it was also about running households, making smart choices, and keeping their communities strong in tough times. In Viking times, women could own land, ask for a divorce, and make big decisions. This shows us that their society respected women in many ways. But remember, these stories and facts come from a time long ago, and sometimes it's hard to separate the exciting legends from everyday life. As we explore more about the Vikings, let's remember that their world was a mix of adventure, hard work, family, and survival. where both men and women played crucial roles in making their society what it was. Picture this. Deep in the earth, hidden for centuries, lie clues to the past. Archaeologists, like detectives of history, have uncovered these clues in old Viking lands. Their findings are opening new doors to understanding Viking women. In several excavation sites across Scandinavia, graves have been found with something surprising. Women buried with items usually seen with warriors, swords, shields, and even armor. This challenges what we thought we knew about Vikings. One of the most striking discoveries was in Birka, Sweden. For a long time, everyone believed a certain grave, filled with warrior equipment, belonged to a man. But recent tests showed something different. The warrior was a woman. This discovery turned heads and made historians rethink the role of women in Viking battles. It's important to remember, though, that being a warrior wasn't common for all Viking women. Most graves don't have weapons. Instead, they contain other items like jewelry and household tools, giving us glimpses into their daily lives. The way these women were buried, with respect and valuable items, tells us they were important in their society. Whether as fighters, farmers, or family leaders, women had key roles in the Viking world. By putting together these pieces from the past, we're learning more about how diverse and complex Viking society was. It's a fascinating puzzle that shows us a world where women could be strong, respected, and play many different roles. Step into the world of Norse myths, and you'll hear about legendary Shieldmaidens, fierce and fearless. These tales, passed down through generations, paint a picture of women who fought bravely in battle, just like the men. Characters like Lagertha and Brynhilda aren't just stories. They're icons of strength and bravery in Viking lore. But here's where things get interesting. Historians and scholars are in a bit of a debate. How true are these stories? Were there really women warriors in Viking times, or are these just exciting tales? The sagas, old Viking stories filled with adventure and magic, often tell of these warrior women. But sagas aren't like history books. They're a mix of fact, fiction, and lots of imagination. So while they give us cool stories, they might not tell us exactly what happened long ago. On the other side, archaeologists and scientists are looking at real things from the past. Bones, graves, and weapons. They're using technology and science to figure out the roles women played in Viking society. And sometimes what they find is surprising, like the warrior grave in Birka. This debate is what makes history so exciting. It's like being a detective, looking at clues from stories and from things dug up from the ground, trying to piece together the truth. And sometimes the truth is a mix of both, real facts and amazing legends. As we explore this debate, we get to see how the past is a bit like a puzzle. The stories from myths and the findings from science both help us understand the mysterious world of the Vikings. So, whether Shieldmaidens were many or few, their stories continue to inspire us and make us wonder about the past. Fast forward to today, and the Shieldmaidens of old are still making waves, but this time in movies, TV shows, books, and even video games. These ancient warrior women have become symbols of strength and equality, captivating audiences around the world. Think about shows like Vikings or movies about Norse myths. The Shieldmaidens in these stories are powerful, brave, and stand toe-to-toe with male warriors. They're not just side characters, they're heroes in their own right. This modern take on Shieldmaidens is inspiring, especially to girls and women, showing that strength and courage aren't just for men. But it's not just about being strong in battle. These modern stories also show shield maidens as leaders, thinkers, and key players in their communities. It's a reminder that in Viking times, just like today, women played many different roles. This portrayal in media is important. It shapes how we think about the past and about women's roles in history and today. When we see these powerful characters on screen or read about them, it challenges old stereotypes and encourages us to think differently about gender and equality. However, it's also good to remember that these are modern interpretations. They're based on ancient stories, but with a twist for today's audience. So while they're exciting and inspiring, they might not be exactly how things were in Viking times. In this mix of old tales and new interpretations, the Shield Maidens continue to be a source of fascination. They bridge the past and the present, showing us how stories from long ago can still have a powerful impact on how we see the world today. Before we conclude our journey, let's take a closer look at Viking society itself, a world where women enjoyed freedoms and rights that were rare for their time. The Vikings, often remembered for their raids and exploration, had a social structure that was surprisingly progressive in terms of gender equality. In the world of the Vikings, women could own property, a right that was quite uncommon in many other societies of the same era. They could also have a say in choosing their husbands and could request a divorce if the marriage didn't work out. These aspects of Viking society reflect a level of respect and autonomy for women that was forward-thinking for the time. Furthermore, women in Viking culture played key roles beyond the household. They were often involved in managing farms, especially when their husbands were away on voyages or raids. This responsibility speaks volumes about the trust and confidence placed in Viking women, showcasing their capability and resilience. In addition to these everyday roles, some women took part in trade and even in local politics. They were seen as important members of their communities, with voices that mattered in decision-making processes. This participation demonstrates a level of equality and inclusion that was not typical in many other parts of the medieval world. While it's essential to recognize that Viking society, like any other, had its complexities and was not entirely egalitarian, it's clear that women held a more prominent and respected position than in many contemporary cultures. This progressive aspect of Viking society helps us understand the fascination with shield maidens and women warriors. It was a world where the idea of a strong, independent woman was not just a myth, but a reality, at least to some extent. Now, let's turn the pages of Norse legend to one of its most celebrated figures, Lagertha, a name that resonates with strength and valor. Her story, while woven with the threads of myth, offers a captivating glimpse into the world of shield maidens. Lagertha's tale begins in a time of turmoil and conflict. According to the writings of the historian Saxo Grammaticus, she first appeared in history during a great battle. The Norwegian king, Ragnar Lothbrok, was in a fierce fight against an invading army. Amidst the chaos of the battlefield, a woman warrior, fighting with the ferocity and skill of a seasoned warrior, caught his eye. This warrior was Lagertha. Her bravery and prowess in battle impressed Ragnar so much that he sought her out and won her love. Lagertha, however, was not just a fierce warrior, she was also a woman of independence and intelligence. She was not easily won over and demanded respect and equality. Lagertha's life was marked by both love and battle. She eventually married Ragnar, but their union was short-lived. Lagertha chose her own path, returning to her homeland where she ruled as a respected leader. Her story, as told by Saxo, is a blend of love, war, and independence. It paints a picture of a woman who was not only a fierce fighter, but also a leader in her own right. Lagertha's tale has inspired countless adaptations in modern media, symbolizing the spirit and strength of the Shield Maiden. As we near the end of our exploration, Lagertha stands as a testament to the enduring legacy of the Shield Maidens, figures who, whether real or imagined, continue to inspire and captivate us with their tales of bravery, resilience, and independence. As our voyage into the past reaches its end, we reflect on the remarkable journey we've taken through the world of the Vikings and their Shield Maidens. From the mythical tales of Lagertha to the stirring evidence unearthed by archaeologists, we've traversed a landscape where legend and history intertwine. The saga of the Shield Maidens, whether rooted in fact or flourished in fiction, tells us much about Norse society, a world where women could wield power and command respect, both in the home and perhaps on the battlefield. These stories, passed down through generations, have not only survived, but thrived, evolving and adapting, yet always reflecting the spirit of strength and independence. In our exploration, we've seen how the Vikings' more progressive views on gender roles allowed women to own property, participate in trade, and even engage in politics. This societal structure, unique for its time, provides a broader context for understanding the fascination and reverence for Shield Maidens. As we look back from our modern perspective, the legacy of these legendary women continues to resonate. They inspire contemporary narratives, challenge long-held stereotypes, and empower new generations with their tales of bravery and resilience. The Shield Maidens, real or symbolic, represent a powerful ideal, that of equality and strength. In the end, the story of the Shield Maidens is more than a chapter in history. It is a narrative that bridges the past and present, reminding us of the complexities of history and the enduring human fascination with heroes and heroines. It encourages us to look deeper, to question, and to appreciate the rich tapestry of human experience. As we bid farewell to the ancient world of the Norse, we carry with us the enduring image of the Shield Maidens, a symbol of courage, a reflection of a society both complex and ahead of its time, and a reminder of how stories from our past can continue to inspire and shape our understanding of the world.